Welcome to Table Talk. I'm Brian Kell. Blood Assurance is the nonprofit, full-service regional blood center serving 51 counties with more than 76 health care facilities in Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, North Carolina, and Virginia. Now, more locally, you may know them as the sole blood provider for River Park Hospital in McMinnville, also Highland in Sparta, Unity in Manchester, and also Tenova Harton in Tullahoma, and also, very importantly for folks in the area too, Erlanger in Chattanooga. We welcome to the table for the very first time J.B. Gaskins, the President and CEO of Blood Assurance. Welcome to Table Talk.
Thanks, Brian. Great to be here.
Good to have you here. You've run the gauntlet. You've been doing all kinds of interviews this morning, so we're glad to be able to get some time with you.
Well, thank you for having us.
Well, first of all, we're going to talk a lot about blood assurance during this time here on a special Table Talk. We're going to do both segments with you, but let's talk about you as far as what brought you to blood assurance and your background.
It's funny, I was in a semi-retirement mode, and I lived in Florida. I was the senior vice president of operations for a very large blood center operations out of St. Petersburg and Tampa area called One Blood. And I was contacted by the chairman of the board for Blood Assurance asking if I had any interest in the position for the president and CEO. And I figured it was meant to be. I interviewed, and the next week I came up for a face-to-face interview, and before I walked out of the door, they had offered me the position. And I've been here now 14 months, and it's been phenomenal. I love the area, and the employees at Blood Assurance are just fantastic. The communities that we deal with are just phenomenal, and I couldn't be more pleased with my experience the first 14 months.
Well, good deal. And along with leaving Florida, you get to experience all the seasons that Tennessee has to offer, that's for sure. And we're experiencing that today, by the way.
And I do like to,
you do like to get out.
I love to get out. I do a lot of hiking. I do a lot of trail running, and I love this place. I would have never thought. I grew up a beach bum, but I've been all over the world between my 30 years in the military and the reserves and my 39 years in blood banking. I've been all over. I lived in Fargo, North Dakota, and have been to the Middle East. So I've got to experience all the seasons in different places, but this has been just absolutely beautiful.
Good deal, and thank you for your service to our country.
Thank you for your support.
I know that that many things we're going to be talking about here, but I know that one thing that's very important to blood assurance is education. Talk about what you when you and your crew are out in the communities you serve. What's some of the information you're trying to get out to folks?
I think the most important thing we try to convey, Brian, is a philosophy of right type, right time, right technology. And if I can break that down, when I talk about the right type, every donor, every person that presents into whether it be a bloodmobile or into a donor room that we have, brings a special gift based on their blood type, based on their makeup. So the first thing is we look at making sure that we have the right supply inventory. So a little contrary to some other blood banks that I've dealt with and others around the country, we actually look at our inventory levels as the driver of our train. Our hospitals, we have a stewardship to be a safe and adequate blood supply to the hospitals we serve. We also have a fiduciary responsibility to do it in the most cost-efficient and cost-effective manner possible. A lot of people don't realize that just because you're a non-for-profit doesn't mean that you don't generate something for what you're doing. We have to recruit, we have to collect, we have to test, we have to process, and we have to distribute that blood. And we have to do it in a safe and adequate and a regulated environment, heavily regulated environment. It is considered under the Code of Federal Regulations as a drug. So we are treated like a drug manufacturer. And we have inspections by multiple agencies to make sure that we do it the right way. So with that said, under the right type, we all are familiar that a lot of people can tell you whether they're an O pos, O neg, A pos, A neg, B pos, B neg, or AB pos or AB neg. Well, based on those types, we never know what the inventory levels are if when our staff go out. So we have a daily inventory level that is put out to our employees so that we can educate the donors when they come in and say, we need red blood cells, or we need platelets, or we need plasma. And when we do that, we're able to look then at the right time. That's the right time aspect of it. What is our hospital's needs? And then does that gift that the donor brings? And then the right technology, the last of the three. Everybody probably understands when a bloodmobile comes or whatever, when we associate the giving of blood, we always think about donating a pint of blood. Your blood is made up of multiple products, and the most important that we look at are the red blood cells. We look at the platelets, we look at the plasma, and we look at something called cryoprecipitate. Those are the major components that we have to produce from a unit of blood, or do it through technology, such as our apheresis machines. On Wednesday, before Thanksgiving, I knew that the needs were high. I sat in the chair and I donated platelets. Takes about an hour and a half to, in this case it was about an hour, they were able to take my platelets, which would be equivalent of taking 6 individual donors who are giving regular blood donations, breaking that up into components to make 1 unit for 1 patient. We're able to do that with 1 donor, so it's a less of an exposure to the patient and a better outcome mostly for that patient. So they're getting a 1-to-1 instead of a 6-to-1 ratio. So right type, right time, right technology. Every donor brings that special gift, and it's our job to make sure that we educate the donors of what their gift is needed, what their gift gives to the community at the time it's needed.
Well, and you know, there's not probably a better time to talk about this during any given time of the year than right now. It's the gift giving season right now when we're doing this interview leading into Christmas, and I'm sure you can't think, and I can't think of a better gift that you could give in the gift of blood.
Yeah, we say it's the gift that keeps on giving, and it really does. A blood donation and thus a blood transfusion gives somebody another chance. It gives them that chance to be with their families where they may not have been able to. There's no synthetic. They've been working on it for years. As long as I've been in blood banking, I think they've been working with synthetic blood. There's new procedures and all that help us use less blood but some patients are using multiple units, obviously, and the gift at this time of year is it's no different than any time of year. Right. Blood needs don't take a holiday. People are traveling. There's going to be more accidents when more people are on the road. So we need to make sure that we have an adequate supply that's on the shelf prior to the needs. I truly believe that there is I tell people, and I hope I don't shock them, but I never worry about the emergency. I don't worry about the shootings. I don't worry about the buses over. People are going to show up. Who's taking care of the needs right when it happens? That's where it becomes vital for us to have that blood supply on the shelf when the time is needed. It is a minimum of 24 hours, closer to 48 hours from the time somebody donates till the time that all the processes are done where we can provide that to the hospital. If you really push it, you might be able to do it in 24 hours, but no sooner than 24 hours is blood going to be ready for our patient needs. So we need to make sure we always have a safe and adequate blood supply on our shelves so that the hospitals have what they need when they need it.
So if someone's watching this right now and they're feeling convicted because they haven't given in a long time or they've never given before, how can they start that process now, and how frequently can someone give?
Well, you can, if you're talking about blood mobiles that come around, and we travel all over, all the counties that we service, where blood mobiles are out and about. You can donate regular blood, whole blood was what we call it, every 8 weeks. That same unit of blood is going to expire in 42 days. So before a donor is even eligible to give again, that unit of blood that they gave has already expired or been transfused.
Right.
We don't want it to expire. It's already been transfused. So we always have to have a constant supply coming in. The other blood product, platelets that we talked about, you can donate those every 2 weeks. They expire in 5 days. So you always have to have a constant because they're very perishable. They're kept at room temperature, whereas red blood cells are refrigerated. And then the other components are the frozen components, which are fresh frozen plasma and cryoprecipitate, used in clotting factors and so for clotting factors. Those are good for a year. They're not used as much as the platelets and the red cells, but you also have a longer shelf life with those in the freezer. So when people are donating, always keep in mind that most people say, well, I've donated once in my life. I'm a donor. We're looking for people to step up to the plate. And it doesn't have to be every 8 weeks. But if folks could commit to donating once a quarter, if every donor who donated one time committed to donating one more time, we would never have a blood shortage in the U.S. Yet 5% of the people donate for everybody else in the country, and we transfuse about 14 million products nationwide.
One thing that I know distinguishes you guys from others would be the fact that not only can you, by the gift giving of blood, that you've got an ability to help total strangers in times of need, but especially by all the local hospitals that you all serve here as being the sole blood provider, you got a chance to, in some cases, unfortunately, help family and friends in times of need as well.
Sure, and you know, I always tell people that blood is first and foremost a local resource. It's donors are local. Think locally, but we actually operate on a much wider span wider span of operations. In that, there's tertiary care hospitals that people will go sometimes from some of the rural hospitals to these tertiary care facilities that for special cancer treatments, for bone marrow aspirations we talked about, and transplants, and those require specialty care. So they're going to use more blood products. We believe that no unit of blood should ever sit on a shelf and expire. So we always look locally, then regionally, and then we look from our network of Blood Centers of America that we're under to see where else blood could be used if needed. We still are looking to meet our local needs locally. We talked about River Park. River Park has used year to date over 600 blood products. Yet we've only collected in this area about 300. So we're collecting about half of what is actually needed for the local hospital at River Park. And all we ask is for donors to consider not just being a one-time and done, but consider donating and make it a part of your ongoing contribution to your community and to somebody who is in need, whether you know them or not.
Good deal. We're going to take a quick break.
Sure.
We're going to take a quick break here, and we're going to talk some more about blood assurance as far as just drives are going to be going on, and just a lot more to what you can do to be a part of a very special gift, and that's the gift of life through blood assurance. So we're back with more Table Talk right from this.